Everybody, it is 8:02 on a Saturday morning. I'm WESH 2 First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, hopefully getting your day started off on a lovely, lovely note. A peek outside on our Tower Cam network, revealing an absolutely beautiful sight. I mean, it's a beautiful morning this morning. Bright sunshine. There are some clouds in the mix, but we can handle that. That's a look over at the Vehicle Assembly Building at the Kennedy Space Center. Let's head down the shoreline, see what's doing. Of course, High Point isn't working. I forgot. My bad. Let's see. New Smyrna Beach. Oh, you're looking great, if I do say so myself. Let's head to Daytona Beach, see what's doing. Oh, yeah, you're looking good as well. Let's see. Let's head over to the Orlando International Airport. Looking great. The sun is shining bright. Downtown Orlando. Yeah, looking very nice. Down to the tourist district. Great. Tavares. Great. Yeah, no matter where you are in Central Florida, it's a beautiful start to the day. So rise and shine. We have made it to the weekend, and it is going to be an absolutely beautiful weekend. Let's talk temperatures across town, shall we? 78 degrees right now in Orlando. It's in the lower 80s back over to the beaches, and our first warning live Doppler radar is showing some showers. Let me take you in just a little closer around New Smyrna Beach, for example, coastal Volusia County, watching a little bit of rainfall for you. Nothing too bad. Nothing too bad. It's just a little bit of rain that we kind of have to deal with. Let me lapse this, kind of see those showers doing their thing. Heading down through Brevard County, little shower activity off the shoreline of the Kennedy Space Center. Most of that stuff, though, kind of behaving and staying off the shoreline. So there's that. Nothing too bad. All right. In terms of the forecast today, we've been talking about it for the last couple of days. The weekend is looking good, though there is a healthy dose of thunderstorms in there. 60% coverage of rain today, high temperature of about 88 degrees. And then we're going to run to about 83 as those storms cool us down. So that's good. If you've got outdoor plans, it just means once we finish ourselves with the stormy weather, we're able to enjoy. So you can't complain about that, right? Right. A nice, easy forecast for us around Central Florida. Let's dial up the old Futurecast machine as I type it in, and let's get an idea. Okay, so here we are this morning, and right off the bat, Futurecast, I think, is doing a pretty good job of picking up on some of the rain that we have this morning along the shoreline. By lunchtime or so, we'll start to see those showers continue popping up, and then starting with newer stuff across the interior. All right, and then 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, widespread thunderstorm activity. By 6 o'clock, though, the focus starts to move west. And by 7, we're looking much better. And I like that because 7 o'clock is kind of the golden hour during football season for college football on a Saturday. And we've got great forecasts. So let's start with my UCF Knights. I cannot wait to see y'all out at the Bounce House today. Villanova coming to town should be a fun football game to watch. May have a little bit of thunderstorm activity, particularly if you're out for early tailgating. Then for kickoff itself, the shower and thunderstorm activity moves out, and we will look better and better and better. Ooh, excuse me. So there's that. All right, let's move over to UF and see the forecast up in Alachua County. I think it's also going to be looking good. Storms around, clearing for kickoff, but for my FSU Seminoles, I'm sorry, y'all. This one's not looking as good. Hurricane Lee is now a post-tropical system. It still has hurricane force winds, but the problem is that if you're watching the game, if you're going to the game, if you're whatever, kind of squally, chilly weather around. So I mean, it is what it is. The Noles are no surprise or strangers to that sort of condition, but nevertheless, so that's the forecast for FSU. Looks pretty good. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Time to beat up on a basketball school. Oh, I know, exactly right. And if you're going to the UCF game, I'm excited. I'll be doing the forecast on the field pregame. So I think it's like 6 o'clock. I think 6 p.m. is what I'll be doing that right before the marching Knights. Love that. Sidebar, I was a marching knight for 4 years, so I get to be excited about that. Michael's asking about Orlando City game tonight at 7:30. I would say, yeah, same kind of idea. Forgot to make that graphic, so we'll have to make that for you. I forgot to check the Orlando. I try to do good for everybody, and I forgot. And you know what's funny is that I think it was even you that told me about it a couple of days ago, and I forgot. So we'll get that taken care of. Don't worry about it. But at any rate, should be great for college football. Very, very excited for that. Very, very, very excited. And by the way, if you're heading tomorrow to the Bucks game, the Bears coming to town. A couple of storms around for kickoff, but the rains are clearing out over at Ray J. Just had to, since we're in the football discussion, we have to discuss and bring that up. First coffee since my son Enzo was born. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning. And good morning, Enzo. I love the name. I love it. We need rain, Mr. Eric. We do. We definitely do. Don't feed the trolls. Did I feed a troll? What happened? I know we don't eat trolls. I saw the movie. All right, let's talk about the tropics, see what's doing. This is the latest radar data coming in from New England. Lee, no longer a hurricane. Now, it's not any weaker, and I've seen some people online saying it was downgraded. I'm like, that's not really what happened here. Basically, think about it. Once it left the Gulf Stream, the water temperatures up there got significantly cooler. It's no longer feeding off of the warm water. It's feeding off of the upper level atmosphere. So it's now a post-tropical system. But the National Hurricane Center, it used to be that the Hurricane Center would wipe their hands of a system when it made that transition. And post Superstorm Sandy, they stopped doing that, which I think is the right call. I think it's a great call. So they're still going to be posting updates on Lee. But essentially, Lee is making landfall in the next few hours' time. And as a matter of fact, I haven't dialed up the viz yet. But why the heck not? All right, here's the satellite loop. I don't even know if there's a viz channel on it. That's the satellite loop. I would assume that the viz would be operational and there would be enough daylight. Hold on. Okay. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Just need to find. Okay, that color that color table looks pretty good. And give me a few seconds to just tweak this around. Now that's the 15-minute. Do we have a 5? That's what I'm looking for. There we are. All right. File, save as, and we'll make you, hold on people, making sausage, stand by. That's just a really cool satellite shot. All right, sausage is made. There you go. So there's that visible satellite. Wow, look at that center of circulation. I mean, it is knocking on the doorstep, isn't it? Just knocking on the doorstep of making landfall there in Nova Scotia. And that's the power of the visible satellite, is you get that, you're not going to get that kind of dynamic on an infrared. Like the infrared's great, don't get me wrong. The infrared has its purpose, but there's nothing like getting a visible shot, right? Like you can clearly see that center of circulation there. So that's the last hour of Lee. You can see it there. Definitely still quite a cyclone. And, it's getting close to the Bay of Fundy there. Man, there's nothing like a visible. There's just nothing like it. So that's the latest spot of Lee. Wind gusts have already been upwards of tropical storm force on the Cape of Massachusetts. And I've already seen reports from meteorological colleagues in the down east of Maine talking about trees down in Acadia, which we were just up there a couple of weeks ago. That is stunning territory. One of my favorite places on the planet is Maine. So power outages certainly going up. Let's see. Poweroutage.us reporting 17,000 residents of Maine, mainly Washington County and Hancock County, so the down east of Maine. 17,000 residents without power in Maine, according to poweroutage.us. And interestingly enough, it's really only like 10% or so, 10, 20% um, of the residents up there so far. So it's not terrible. And that's the good news. All right. So that's the latest on Lee. Post-tropical, but still carrying, as you can see on the top of the screen, 80-mile-per-hour winds. So still very much a potent storm system. Elsewhere, let's load up Tropical Storm Margot's data. Out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of nowhere's land. Just spinning around the Azores. Expected to continue to do that sort of movement, though eventually will loop around and perhaps impact the Azores by about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday timeframe, but staying out to sea, which is certainly good news. And then after that, we also have Tropical Depression 15. TD15 is doing its thing, trying to develop little by little. 35 text messages? Are you kidding me? I'm just having a look at my phone. There's TD15. Winds are at 35 miles an hour. There's the forecast cone for TD15. Now, a couple of things about this. We're in an El Nino year, and what we find is that the jet stream in an El Nino year loves to push a little further south a little earlier. And what that does is that helps to give us these early season cool fronts. That's the only reason that Lee did not hit us, was an early season cold front, trophy weather on the eastern seaboard. Good. Knock on wood, right? That's good for main development region storms, such as Lee, Margot, what would become Nigel should it do that. But the problem is, shifting from September to October, the fronts move further south, and you start to watch old dying fronts bubbling up storm systems, or the Caribbean and the Gulf bubbling up storm systems. So let's just watch this area closely for tropical systems that may try to bubble up close by and then kind of form and move. And for us in our long-range methodology, that would also be indicators for next hurricane season. So there's some things that we'll definitely need to be watching. Laura says, I have 47 text messages I need to go through. I just want to know how I blink and I have 36. Here's the thing. I have a friend. His name's Jason Litt. Keith Elementary students will know him as Mr. Litt. He's one of the sharpest tools you'll ever find in the shed. But when you open up a text message dialogue with this man, it's like, seriously, I guarantee it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That one text thread has 34 text messages. Thanks, Mr. Litt. Yukon says I only get a few texts a day. Yeah, that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Thank you for all your knowledge. Cheryl says, my pleasure. And I would also add, and of course, I don't have it set up on this computer because, of course, but the BSR yesterday was showing what could be something interesting come October. So let's just stay dialed in, right? Let's just stay dialed in, right? My text messages are good. We aren't going to talk about my emails, though. Oh, I know. My email inbox right now is showing. Oh, yeah. Well, there's everything you need to know. Like, that's a mess. 36 text messages. That's a mess. Okay. Good times. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns about anything? Anything. Otherwise, we can put this puppy to bed a little early. Show us the BSR. I did yesterday, Spencer. I'm on a work computer, and so I literally can't. I don't have it set up on this one. So I apologize. I need to clear that up. I know I do. I know. Yeah. Lee traveled thousands of miles, turned right, travels thousands of miles. That's a long path. Oh, I know, Michael. Like, what's crazy is that the landfall that it's about to have is going to be its first landfall. Isn't that something? I mean, I feel like we have tracked Lee for like months, and that this is going to be its first landfall all the way up in Nova Scotia, right? Isn't that something? I could just look at that all day. I'm not going to make y'all look at it, but I and my nerddom, I could look at that all day. What are the surf levels? Yeah, so the surf is locally definitely elevated still because of Lee and Lee's Pass nearby Central Florida. So if you're heading to the beach today, just know it's not going to be perfect, right? Surf running 5 to 6 feet, seas offshore running 4 to 7 feet. High risk of rip currents. Yeah, it's not going to be the perfect day. Yep. It's wonderful it didn't hit anywhere else. Oh, agreed. 100% agreed. Yep. All right. All right. That's all I got. That's all I got. Okay. So let's look at the 7-day forecast here. All right. And what we're at, decent coverage of showers and thunder showers for us today. Decent coverage of showers and thunder showers for tomorrow. And then rain chances come down just a smidge on Monday, definitely more on Tuesday. And then, yes, back up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right. If there was anything that y'all mentioned, go back and check it out. I'm going to get working on some programming that I'm trying to work on and a couple of other things, always trying to do fun stuff. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I will be tweeting and Facebooking as is needed through the day today. And if you're at the UCF game, say hi. I'll be the parent trying to keep two kids from killing each other. All right.